Hi, my name is Jesse at Trash Panda, and I currently make fully recycled discs. And since I just finished version 5 of my putter and everyone's asking how it flies, I thought I'd take a second in this video to talk about the feel of the disc, some flight numbers, and show you some actual throws. So first up, feel. I can say with absolute confidence that nothing feels better than a disc you made with your own hands out of completely recycled materials. It really is unreal. Starting with the plastic, I've only tested HDPE so far, which is what's commonly used for trash cans, bottle caps, or even six-pack toppers. And the feel, in my opinion, is smooth and slick. Now, smooth is a good thing. It's like ESP or Star. But by slick, I mean it's kind of a little bit slippery. If you're familiar with Cosmic Neutron plastic from Streamline, I'd say it's kind of like that. In terms of rim feel, I can easily say this is the most comfortable disc I've made yet. I'd compare it to most non-beaded putters, but specifically feel in the hand, it's somewhere between an Aviar and a Warden. Fan grip is super comfortable, but since it's a little bit slick, it's kind of hard to get a consistent release. Whereas the power grip is super comfortable. It feels like any deep dish putter that you could really get a good grip on. As far as flight ratings are concerned, I'd give it a 3 for speed because you can actually put a decent amount of power behind it, a 3 for glide because it actually glides pretty well and way better than my first prototype, and a 0 turn and a 2 fade. So without further ado, let's go throw it.
All right, I have a basket set up at 100 feet and I'm gonna do 200 feet and 300 feet, just to give you a really good taste of how these things fly. Also, one really important thing to note is that I'm in Denver. So I'm at 5,000 feet elevation, which means they're gonna be slightly more overstable than a disc, say, at sea level. But anyway, let's do it. All right, with any form of power, this thing kind of deteriorates under a forehand, but at 100 feet, you can kind of finesse it. All right, occasionally I'm gonna throw in a pig and an Aviar just to give you a really good comparison so you have a great idea of how they fly. All right, as you can see, it's definitely in between an Aviar and a pig. It's not as overstable as the pig, but it's not as straight flying or stable as the Aviar. So you might notice when I throw it flat, it gets a nice straight to fade at the end, but when I throw it with a little bit of anhyzer, it gets a nice S-curve. Also, I wanted to quickly mention that I'm wearing gloves, as you might have noticed. These are friction gloves. They give a really nice amount of grip, and because my discs are slippery, they're super helpful. I was a skeptic at first for sure, but I gotta say, throwing with gloves on, I'm a believer now. Also, it's pretty cold outside, so that's nice. Okay, we moved it to 300 feet, and I'm just gonna try to go flat and straight all the way there. Maybe a little bit of turn. All right, as you can see with those, they weren't perfect shots, but with the pig, I'm counting on the fade. With the Aviar, I'm counting on the turn, and with my disc, I'm counting on it going perfectly straight, little bit of fade at the end. CTP was the pig, but my recycled proto came in a close second. All right, I think that's enough in a field. Let's go out to a course now. All right, I'm out at West Fork Disc Golf Course in Highlands Ranch, Colorado. And I brought you out here just because I want to show you a few holes here where the shots shape up perfectly for these discs, and you can really get a taste for how they fly. Let's do it. Okay, this is hole 8, due straight, 280 feet. I'm gonna try to throw this flat, let it turn to the right just barely, hyzer out at the end. downhill slightly straight ahead. Honestly, this is the exact hole I would throw this on. Okay, my current throwing putter in my bag is a Sensei, so let's see how that compares. You can see that the Sensei like flipped up a tiny bit more. All right, hole 12, 200 feet, short, straight, flat. I'm gonna give it a tiny bit of anhyzer and just let it do all the work. I just aced it. It's the perfect disc for this hole. Are you kidding me? First ace with V5? Let's go. And that's probably where we're just gonna have to end the test flights. Whew.
Okay, I'm so hyped to have gotten that ace. If you haven't seen it already, I spent like 5 hours trying to get an ace with the first prototype, and this one came so quick. Since I'm still prototyping the discs, there's a lot of room for change, especially in the flight characteristics. I'd like to make it slightly less overstable so that beginners can use it well to help grow the sport sustainably. But let me know what you like in throwing putters in the comments below. I'd love to hear. As you can tell from the videos and how I talk about it, it's a fantastic throwing putter and I'm super happy with it. But I'd still like to find a softer plastic to make it a great throwing putter and putting putter. Some people have asked, why don't you just add rubber or silicone to make it a little bit softer? And that's a great question. The simplest answer is that while that may be recycled, it affects future recyclability. If a plastic water bottle takes 450 years to decompose, then just imagine how long any disc will be on Earth. Recyclability is super important. As I keep iterating on this mold and testing out different plastics, I'm super excited to see how the next version turns out. And I remain open to any suggestions you might have in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to support the channel, and we'll see you next time.
All right, if you stuck around this long, I know you're curious about how far I can throw this thing, so I've got the 300-foot basket still set up. This one's for you.